Welcome to another episode of live trading. Today on this video, the same strategies which we've been using on maybe my $10,000 account, $20,000, $5,000 or bigger accounts, the same strategy I've been using on those accounts are the same strategies I want to be able to use on a $100 account, because I know many people, or 90% of people, can afford to only deposit small amounts on the account when they're just starting with trading. So let me put myself on your shoe, okay? Let me take myself down to that particular level, because we all started at that particular level. So today on this video, the same strategies that I used to use on bigger account are the same strategies we'll be using on a $100 account. On the previous video, which I'm going to leave a link up here, on this video, I did deposited $100 based on a comment which I got from a subscriber. They were asking if I can practice the same strategies on a $100 account. So I did deposit $100 live into my IC Market account, because with IC Market you can open multiple accounts. So since I deposited that $100 into that live account, I want us to try the same strategies on that same live account. Okay, so without taking much of your time, let's get into it. So as you can see on my screen, we have many news events today. And because of those news events, we're not going to be trading all. As I already explained to you guys, there's a link. The same strategies I'm going to be using here is called the straddle strategy of news trading. Check the link above, or also on the description if you don't know the strategy I'm using on this particular video. So you need to first of all understand the strategy before you understand what is going on here. But even without knowing what is going on, I'm still going to be able to make a recap on this video. If you can see on my screen, we have this particular news event. Which is coming out in 11 minutes. You can see on my screen it says 11 minutes here. Okay, let me try to zoom out. Okay, you can see here it says 11 minutes, and we have the CAD retail sales. So this is the one we're going to be trading. We're going to be trading the CAD retail sales. So let me zoom in back to 25%. Okay, since we already know the news event that we're going to be trading, we go back to this website. On this website, as I explained to you guys earlier, 10 minutes before the news release. Yes, always start 10 minutes, because if you start adjusting your chart maybe 5 minutes to the news release, you might not be able to do it that quick. So 10 minutes before the news release, if you can see here, the news at my time is going to be at 2:30. The news is going to be at 2:30. So this is 2:19, almost 2:20. So this is the time for me to get my chart ready, to get my traps ready, all right, to catch the move wheresoever direction the market has to go. Because with this strategy, if I just have to make a recap, you set your buy stop and your sell stop above and below the current market price, using my strategies and using my modification, and whatsoever direction the market triggers, we're going to be able to control and get out with a profit, or worse, get out at break even. So let's get into my chart. Before we get into my chart, let's first of all determine the lot size we're going to be using. This same website is the website we use. You go there, you put leverage is 1:500, type is Forex, symbol is USD CAD. I want us to use USD CAD because remember we're trading CAD. And if you check on the website, there's no news event on USD that might affect the USD. So USD is kind of quiet, and CAD is the one that has the news event. So we're using USD CAD. And the amount, you click on calculate volume, the margin is $100, and you click on calculate. So the maximum lot size we can use on this trade is 0.5. All right, we're using a micro lot size of 0.5. So we go to our chart. On our chart here, you see I already put 0.5. So I step down a little bit. I step down by a mini lot, a little bit. So since I want my chart to trigger by all means, so that's why I put here 0.49. So here, as following the strategy, we just click on the circle part on the mouse. On this part, you click on this circle place, then the crosshair will come out. You just measure 10 pips. That's 10 pips. Yeah. Then you right click, you go to trading, you put your buy stop. Let's make sure we put one trading on. Okay, so we come back here, we go back to 10 pips, we right click, we go to trading, we put our buy stop. So that's already our buy stop. We come back here again, we click, we go down 10 pips somewhere here, that's 10 pips. We right click, we go to trading, we put our sell stop. Okay, so now we put our buys, our take profit and our stop loss. You double click on it, you just come here again, you left click, you go up. Take profit is 20 pips and stop loss is 10 pips. So take profit of 20 pips is at you just go up. When it's 20 pips, you read the figures by the right of the chart. So it's 1.2595. So I go on take profit, I click here 2595. So I click on it. You can see that's my take profit right here. I come here again, I do the same thing, I click here, go down 20 pips, I right click, I go up, or I just click on the trade, I just double click on the trade, or I click on modify, the same thing. I just come here, I click here, go down, look for where I see 20 pips. You can see this is 20 pips. 20 pips is the same as 200 points because a pip is 1/10 of a point. All right, 1/10 of a point. So 20 pips is the same as 200 points. So here I have 0.2536. So I click on take profit 25361. So I click on modify. So here you do the same thing. You put, then you do the same thing. You double click again. When you double click, you come here on the stop loss, you measure again 10 pips, you put your stop loss, and you measure 10 pips on this one, you put your stop loss on that one still. All right, so since we've already placed our trade, these are our two targets. These are the two targets we're going to be using. And remember, we're using the 5-minute time frame to place this target. So what we do now, you can see the trades are already down here. We have our balance of $100. The trades are already placed. We have the buy stop and the sell stop. So what we do now is we go back to the website. If you can go back to the website and check the time, you see we have 23 minutes. So we still have about 8 minutes before the news release. So between these 23 and 30, 23 and maybe 29, 30 seconds, you have to keep on controlling the chart. You don't just do this and you forget. You have to keep on controlling the chart to make sure none of these positions should be triggered before the news is released. So I come back to my chart. I just keep measuring. I can measure from here to here. I see that, okay, I have a distance of 8 pips. If I measure from here to here, I have a distance of 10 pips. So this one, I can take this one a little bit, and I can see I have a very good support. I have a very good support right here. So I can still use this support. I can take back my stop loss a little bit up, and remember this is MT5, so it's drag and drop. It's very easy to manipulate it, to manipulate the target. So this one still, since this one I have 8 pips, I can take a little bit up because I want the distance to be equal. I don't want any of this position to trigger before the news is released. So now I'm just waiting, and I'm just gonna keep on doing this, just gonna keep on manipulating this to make sure before the news release, the distance between the sell stop and the buy stop should be 10 pips. 10 pips from the current market price to the buy stop, 10 pips from the current market price to the sell stop. So you just keep on doing this, you just keep on looking until when it is about maybe 29 minutes and 30 seconds, then you stop. You don't do anything again, and you just wait for the news to trigger. All right. So for now, I'm just gonna wait. For the news to trigger. Then we'll control our charts from there. Yeah, so you can see we have 2 minutes to go. And you can see my targets are there. Target between sell stop and buy stop, both 10 pips from the current market price. And also on my phone, we have the 2 trades on my phone, as you can see. So also on my phone, we have it on my phone, and we're going to be able to update you on both sides. So let's just see. Let's just wait for the market to trigger. So we have just about here we have exactly 30 seconds to go. 30 seconds to go. Okay, so you see it's exactly 2:30, and here we don't have any movement for now. So let's see how the data is, whether the data is positive or negative. So the data here is positive, so we're hoping for the US, for the Canadian dollar to be strong. And since here we have this as US CAD, we're expecting the market to go down. All right, we're expecting the market to go down. So we can even push this one a little bit up.
A few minutes later.
So 10 minutes into the trade and I have to close all my positions. So I closed all my positions at break even because the news wasn't that impactful. The news wasn't that impactful enough to either trigger my buy or sell stops. So the lesson from today's video is that even though I've given you guys a list of news events which you are supposed to trade, there are some of these news events which in some few cases or in some few scenarios, they might not be that powerful to either trigger your buy or your sell stops. So the best case scenario is at least we are still at break even. Our capital is still preserved. We're still going to be able to take another news event tomorrow, because remember, among the news events which I gave you guys almost about 14 different news events. So within a month, out of about 80 different news events which are out there, there are 14 which I have selected. So even among that 14, if you have maybe 4 or maybe 5 which are not too impactful, we still have about 8 or 9 which are going to be actually impactful. You need just about 2 or 3 or 4 news events that will be impactful for you to be able to double your account within a month, or for you to be able to triple your account within a month. So the lesson for you to learn from today's video is that there are some news events which in some few case scenarios, they might not impact or they might not trigger your buy or your sell stop. In those cases, that is actually very, very normal. So you just close your positions, your capital is still going to be reserved. At least you haven't lost anything from your account, and you'll still be able to place, you will still be able to take another trade. If I check on my calendar, let me just check. If I go on my calendar and I go on next week, you can actually see on next week. So on next week, starting from Monday, on Tuesday, we don't have any news, and on Wednesday we have CPI. We have Australian dollar CPI. On Thursday we don't have any news event, and on Friday we have a GDP again for CAD. So next week we have 2 other news events which we can trade. Our capital is still there, and we're still going to be able to trade next week. So if you've gotten some value from this video, or you've learned something new on this video, please leave a thumb up on this video. Please, it means a lot. Leave a thumb up on the video. That will tell me you guys are actually getting some value from this video. And if you're watching my content and you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below. Until then, I'll see you guys on another live trade. Peace.